Sophia Bush has shed light on a startling pay disparity that defined her early years on One Tree Hill. In a revealing new interview, the 41-year-old actress admitted she earned less than 20% of what her male co-stars made, underscoring a culture of inequity she'd only fully understood in hindsight. Bush portrayed Brooke Davis throughout the show's 9-season run, 2003 to 2012, a role that became iconic. Yet despite the character's popularity, Bush says she made under 20% of what actors like Chad Michael Murray and James Lafferty earned, referring to her male leads' higher salaries. She recounted that throughout production, she had no sense of pay inequity. It wasn't until years later, when subtly discussing the issue with coworkers and friends, that the disparity became clear. "None of us knew," she said. "There was no transparency. We were kept in the dark." Today, Bush sees it as symptomatic of a broader systemic failure to value women equally, even on shows where their characters drive ratings and cultural impact. In that same interview, Bush reflected on the pressures those early roles placed on young actors. Cast members, she said, endured a culture of adultification, where teens were treated as fully professional adults without being given mature work environments. "We were 21, 22, playing 16-year-olds, she said, but we were expected to know technical language, hit marks, deal with pressure, and also somehow earnestly play teenagers. It's exhausting to be objectified and fetishized for your youth, yet treated like grown-ups." More troubling, Bush recalled, was a lack of solidarity among the cast, a dynamic fostered, she believes, by studio grown-ups who discourage closeness to prevent performers collectively questioning their payouts or working conditions. That environment, she said, kept the younger actors from demanding fair treatment. "We were pawns without realizing it," she added. Today, Bush has become a vocal advocate for fair compensation and transparency, especially for women in the entertainment industry. She says her One Tree Hill experience taught her the importance of equity behind the camera as well as in front of it, and fuels her efforts to mentor and support younger performers navigating similar power dynamics. Bush has also revisited that era in other interviews, most notably a candid conversation about how scripts leaned heavily on teen sexuality and objectification. She once confronted a writer who tried to convince her that Brooke needed a revealing scene because "you're not 16, to which Bush retorted, "But I am playing 16. She also recalled a disturbing remark by a boss who praised her "big if" in rack, remarkable for its candidness and insensitivity. That tension, between Brooke's youthful energy and the adult themes layered onto her, became central to Bush's critique. She believes the show missed opportunities to explore teenage life more responsibly and instead relied on provocative content to drive ratings. Since then, she has channeled those lessons into more intentional projects. Bush routinely promotes gender parity in her creative collaborations and serves on numerous boards geared toward advancing women in media. She also speaks publicly about the importance of early career education for actors, especially around negotiating contracts and understanding industry-wide pay structures. Executives in Hollywood have begun responding. Recent salary disclosures on series like The Morning Show and Yellow Jackets show improved equity, and unions such as SAG-AFTRA have intensified calls for contract transparency. Bush sees this progress as, in part, the legacy of voices that spoke up after shows like One Tree Hill. Key takeaways: Bush earned less than 20% of her male co-stars' pay despite her lead role. She recalled a fetishized, adultified work culture that prioritized objectification over maturity. Studio structures discouraged cast unity to prevent equitable pay demands. Bush now advocates for pay transparency, supports young actors, and credits her experience with shaping industry reform. In reflecting on her journey from teen star to activist, Bush stresses one message: equity isn't optional. She hopes the One Tree Hill pay gap stands as a lesson for current and future generations, a reminder that transparency and fairness must guide creative success